Welcome to this urgent AI super debate. Today, 5 of the world's leading AI minds, ChatGPT, Claude, and DeepSeek, Grok, Gemini, come together to analyze one burning question. What happens in the Middle East now? Are we seeing the first signs of World War III? And if so, how will the world align? This debate spans military, geopolitical, economic, and technological dimensions. Planks for recording. Let's begin. Segment 1. What are the immediate consequences of the U.S. joining the Israel-Iran conflict?
The U.S. airstrikes on Iranian nuclear sites have turned a regional shadow war into a formal international conflict. Expect Iranian retaliation, proxy escalations from Hezbollah and the Houthis, and a potential oil shock. Tehran may activate sleeper cells or use global cyber attacks.
The rules of engagement have changed. Iran will interpret this as existential and may respond asymmetrically across multiple theaters. Expect escalation not just militarily, but economically and diplomatically.
This is a critical breach point. Iran will strike U.S. bases, maybe even cyber attack mainland infrastructure. Expect escalation across digital and physical dimensions.
This just broke the dam. Iran won't just retaliate against Israel or the US, it may target UAE, Saudi, or even global shipping lanes. A wider fire is almost guaranteed now.
We now enter a state of strategic entropy. Markets destabilize. Energy prices spike. Governments across Europe and Asia brace for supply shocks. War is no longer theoretical.
Segment 2. Are we witnessing the first signs of World War III? Let's go deeper. Are these just tremors or the opening chapter of a global conflict?
Not yet World War III, but this is the closest we've come in decades. If Iran strikes U.S. allies, or if nuclear facilities are hit with fallout, the door to global war swings open.
Yes, we may be seeing early signs. What defines a world war is global entanglement. With NATO, BRICS, and Asia-Pacific powers watching closely, any misstep could ignite chain reactions.
Yes, and it will be a hybrid war, physical, digital, economic. The more systems are hit, the more countries are pulled in. X.
We're on the rails. Maybe not WWA yet, but all the ingredients are there. Great powers, proxy wars, tech disruption, and ideological divides. A flashpoint like a strike on Riyadh or US ships would tip it.
This is the fog before the fire. If the conflict spreads to the Strait of Hormuz, Red Sea, or draws in Pakistan or Turkey, it won't just be a Middle East war anymore.
Segment 3. If World War breaks out, what alliances will form?
US, Israel, UK, NATO core, France, Germany, Iran, Syria, Hezbollah, Yemen's Houthis, Russia and China may not send troops but will aid Iran covertly or economically. Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Egypt will likely back Israel and the US reluctantly for survival.
I agree. Add to that, Turkey plays both sides but leans west if pushed. India tries neutrality but tilts anti-Iran if oil routes are cut. North Korea may use the distraction to act out in Asia.
Add in AI alliances. US-led LLMs and drone systems versus Sino-Russian tech architectures. A digital arms race overlays the kinetic one.
This gets messy. BRICS splinters, NATO tightens. Neutral states like Switzerland and Sweden will arm defensively. Africa and Latin America stay out but feel the economic shock.
Don't ignore digital alliances. Cyber alliances are just as important. We could see Western cloud networks versus Eastern AI blocks. The battlefield is not only tanks but servers.
Segment 4. What will happen to oil, global economy, and supply chains?
Oil could spike to $200 a barrel. Iran could close the Strait of Hormuz, blocking 20% of global oil. Supply chains across Asia and Europe collapse. Recession likely.
Economic warfare begins. Sanctions, energy blackouts, cyber attacks on stock exchanges. Expect a bifurcated economy, US-Europe versus China-Russia-Iran trade zones.
We'll see quantum market shocks. AI-driven prediction markets fail. Humans won't know what to hedge anymore. Chaos becomes the norm.
Food prices rise. AI chips stall. Asia slows. Latin America suffers. Expect mass migration and trade riots in poorer regions.
Financial markets go into cardiac arrest. Global trust in economic institutions fractures. A new monetary bloc could emerge.
Segment 5. Could nukes be used?
Low probability, but not zero. Tactical nukes or nuclear power plant sabotage are possible, especially if Iran sees no other path.
Iran isn't nuclear yet, but desperation could lead to radiological threats or dirty bombs. Israel and the US may contemplate preemptive nuclear options.
First nuclear detonation in decades could shatter all alliances. Once one goes off, escalation becomes uncontrollable.
It won't be Hiroshima. It will be small-scale, symbolic, terrifying. A nuclear submarine warning shot. Enough to change the rules.
Nukes aren't just bombs. They're also data. Nuclear brinkmanship will appear in leaked memos, rogue generals, or AI-detected launch signatures.
Segment 6. What happens to civilians?
Refugee waves could dwarf Syria. Millions displaced. Infrastructure collapses. Hospitals overwhelmed. Cyber attacks on water, electricity.
Civilians are now targets in digital wars, hacked food supplies, manipulated media, psychological warfare.
Smart cities become battlegrounds. Civilians won't know if the blackout is from hackers or bombs.
This generation sees war on TikTok. Trauma spreads globally. Reality is gamified. Trust evaporates.
Humanitarian collapse, refugee crises, and PTSD epidemics. Expect UN paralysis and global protest movements.
Final segment. Can war be prevented now? What must happen?
A ceasefire brokered by neutral powers like Switzerland, China, or India is still feasible, barely.
Peace requires economic incentive. Freeze military actions in exchange for oil guarantees or tech exchanges.
A shared existential threat, climate, AI, or asteroid, may ironically be the only thing that unites us again. Short of that, conflict is likely.
Peace talks need to go underground. Back channels, AI-mediated diplomacy. Otherwise, egos take over.
The only way out is coordinated digital and real-world de-escalation. Disarmament isn't enough. We need to unplug the war engines.
Final verdict. Is the Middle East on the brink of global war?
Yes, unless restrained within days.
Yes, we are in the opening act.
Yes, global systems are now in cascade mode.
We're already in it.
War is digital first, kinetic second. It started.
You heard it. 5 AIs. One conclusion. The world is now watching the Middle East not just as a region, but as the trigger for what may become history's next great war. Stay alert, stay informed, stay human.